Here's a concept that will transform how you manage mailing lists. Hi, this is Justin Hitt from Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. Whether you have a large marketing list or your client has a large marketing list, I very often hear the question, how do I manage my list? And the biggest question comes up is when you change your marketing platform. For example, you go from Infusionsoft to HubSpot, or you go from HubSpot to Salesforce. And let's say you have 3,000 to 5,000 names on there and you're just not sure what to do with them. And you're saying, well, I got to migrate. I'm going to use their migration tool. I'm going to move to the new platform. Well, that's all good and great, but it doesn't help you learn anything new about those people on the list. Like, for example, are they prospects? Are they buyers? Are they customers? Now, I'll give you a practical example that works for conceptualizing this. You have a marketing platform, and it doesn't matter what marketing platform it is. It could be Aweber, and all you have is emails. And you have an accounting system like QuickBooks or Xero. And you want to get the names from your marketing system to your accounting system. And a lot of clients will plan out, this big database merge. And are we going to use data validation tools or data synchronization like PySync, for example, and we're going to move it from one? No. The best solution is a marketing solution. If you've got names on list A and you want to get them on list B, the very best thing to do is a lead generation campaign. Now, if you want to get somebody from a mailing list into your accounting system, the best thing to do is a sales offer. And it doesn't matter if it's a $1 offer. It doesn't matter if it's a full priced offer. But ultimately, the process of testing that list moves the individuals from one list to another. Now, there's some great unique advantages to this. First off, your customer's actually going to pay you to get to their different list. They're also going to do all the data entry for you, and they're going to grow your business because now you have the opportunity to deliver something of value to them. So if you're a copywriter and you're looking for new assignments and you find a Chamber of Commerce list and you want to get that Chamber of Commerce list into your marketing system, well, don't go import it into your marketing system. Simply work it up in a spreadsheet, set up a postcard campaign, a letter campaign, a targeted audience pay-per-click campaign, some kind of campaign off of that list, and then everyone who responds to that campaign jumps into your marketing system and is properly tagged and everything else that's necessary to then have them in a lead funnel. And you can make any kind of offer. The key thing is now they're in a new list and you know something about them. You know that they responded to a certain offer. You know that a certain headline engaged them versus another headline. Now, you can drive them through your website and use key coding or some kind of list coding so that you know where they originally came from. But eventually that list is going to go stale anyway. So if you've built a list of Chamber of Commerce members after a year or two, that list is stale anyway. What matters is the individuals on that list that raise their hand, interested in what you have to offer, and who have jumped into your marketing system. Now, if you want to get them from your marketing system over to your accounting system, you simply make an offer where they become a customer or they engage in a sale. Now, we're looking at everything completely different. It's not a data management thing. It's not the right marketing system. It's not the right software integration. It's not the right connections. It's not the right platform. It's now a list of names who represent actual people in a marketplace and offers that you can make to them to modify behavior to get them to raise their hand and jump on the new list. Now, once they're in the new list, you've got some context about who they are, and you've got some information that you can use to invite them to get onto the next list, and we're moving them up a ladder of ascension to your final products and services. Now, through doing this, rather than a technical budget, we now have a marketing budget, and then all the math that works for knowing whether a marketing campaign is profitable also works to determine whether it's profitable to move somebody from one list to another. And now you're in the list business. Now, you don't need any fancy software to do this, but you do want to get away from spreadsheets. Lists on spreadsheets go stale. They're so difficult to maintain. That's why when you work with a list broker, you very often want to purge that list. You don't want to import it directly into your contact management system. You want to rent the list, do something with it, and then purge it. That's because their systems will maintain what records you've gotten in the past, and their systems will maintain all the details that you need, as well as the licensing agreement that you have for renting that list. But ultimately, keep it in their system. Don't clutter up your system, making a mess of it. HubSpot, for example, charges you for number of contacts. So if you dump, I got like 9,000 prospects in there. I am constantly trying to figure out ways to get rid of those people, to purge them out of my list. I've got, I say prospects, many, probably about half of those are inquiries, and then a very tiny sliver of them are customers. Well, if I've jumped them into my accounting system, I can keep my customer list nice and clean from the accounting system. And, it matters there because we're tracking invoicing and billable hours and product purchases. But in my CRM system, I can actually keep all my prospect lists of those who are hot, like my hotline names, those who've replied, those who've taken action. And then I can just go get more names. I don't have to... there's no magic about it. Privacy is dead in America today. Privacy is dead globally. You can simply generate more leads. And the sources come from list brokers, from data services, from social media platforms, from pay-per-click campaigns, from partnership arrangements. And, you could go get someone else's customer list and send your offer to them under a joint venture agreement. So I want you to stop thinking about that data integration. You don't have to be technically inclined. I know it's the major sales pitch for platforms like Infusionsoft. I think it's now called Kept, Aweber and stuff. They talk about, all the integration. But that integration doesn't really matter much if it doesn't tell you more about who it is that buys the products and services that you have. Now, as a copywriter, this is a value add that you can include when you're doing that discovery, that customer avatar or that discovery about who buys. And then you can also help your client with list selection, and then that A/B split marketing campaign that starts moving people from one list to another. Nothing is worse than getting people in your mailing list that aren't interested in buying. And that's why everybody goes for free stuff these days, because they can get these big list numbers. But ultimately, if you're serious about marketing, you're eventually going to be spending money for every name on that list. So you need to, for every dollar you spend, get a certain amount of money back. So why not have a zeroed in focused list of buyers? You want a list of buyers. A list of 100 buyers is worth more than 10,000 looky-loos, as Jim Strahl used to say. But the focus, again, is not on the integration. It's not on the technology. It must be on the marketing. Now, what this does for a copywriter, marketing, or business development professional is it opens up channels of opportunity with customers who believe they have technical problems when really they have a marketing problem. So if you want to get people from your marketing list into your accounting system, it's not a technical issue. It's something solved by a sales letter, as Gary Halbert would say. Any problem you face in business can be solved with a sales letter. Simply set up your very best sales letter, your very best control. You make an offer to that large marketing list, get them to buy something, and now they're suddenly in your accounting system through their order. Now, you can figure out how much it costs for each data entry. So when I was working at Lilly and Vernon, they had a cost for call. For every time someone picked up the phone, what did it cost in that call center? And then for every data entry, how much did it cost? And they would actually factor that in on the target transaction. And I don't know that it directly impacted their upsells and cross-sells, but they had an idea that every time the phone rang, it cost a certain amount of money. And they tied that back to lead sources. Now, you don't have to be as sophisticated as they were with a big giant IBM mainframe computer, but you essentially need to know that customer A came from this list. They raised their hand for this offer and then ultimately bought this product. Tracing that all the way through is not a technical problem. It's a matter of organization. So you can simply print out a list of this is how it was done a very long time ago, is print out a list of prospects, get on the phone and call the prospects. Everybody who answers the phone and agrees to an appointment then goes on to a new list. That new list is called a calendar. And then based on that calendar in the meeting, everyone who buys then goes on to an order form. See how it works, folks? You don't need this technology in the way it's being sold to you. You need this technology in the way it functions, turning prospects into buyers. And so if you want to help your customers, you can write the copy and create the marketing campaigns that move people from one list to another. And I've made these mistakes before. When I moved from Infusionsoft to HubSpot, I merged a list through the PieSync. And all this technical stuff's not going to matter in 5 years because it's all going to disappear. It'll all be new software, new systems. But essentially, the best way to get the names out of one platform and get them into another is to do a lead generation offer. So now what you'll find on my contact pages is a full lead offer. Now, there are times where the technical stuff will still come up, and it depends on how you operate your business. But let's say somebody opts in the new platform and they only give you your email address. You will want to do a merge purge so that you can merge the email as the index, the addresses that you already have on file. Okay, so there are some aspects, but most importantly, the indication of interest that someone has by opting into a new list is more valuable than the integration necessary to move data, because the data has no value. I know everybody's talking about data is the new currency, but the data has no value on its own. You want the context of the customer's interests. You want the customer's permission. You want the customer's where they need to be. So who cares whether when you move to a new platform, they can import your data? Doesn't matter. If that platform serves your needs from a measurement perspective, from a customer delivery perspective, then you can just send an offer or send a lead generation or send a note to your people on your list and get those highly active folks to jump over. And then after a period of time, essentially just purge the rest of the addresses. If they're not buying, if they're not worthy of follow-up, if they're not taking action by becoming a part of something that leads them to a solution, then you don't want them on your list. You can always go back to a list broker and get them again. But ultimately, what matters is those assets, those campaigns, those lead generation campaigns, the sales campaigns, the behaviors of the people on those lists, and ultimately your ability to transform the business relationship into profits. Now, we're doing that through Words That Sell. We're doing that through marketing methodology. We're essentially doing database management through a marketing calendar. And I can show you more about how to do this when we talk specifically like topic testing. We talk about list testing, A/B splits. That's the technical side of what we're doing in the marketing world. But ultimately, as a copywriter, business development professional, or marketing agency, you're a critical player, and we've just opened up a whole new marketplace for you. Many of the technical problems your clients face, many of the software issues that they're facing can be solved with marketing solutions. And now you know how. I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. You can visit us at www.adbriefings.co.uk, where we share with you insights and strategies to transform your copywriting business, transform your marketing agency, transform your business development consultancy using Words That Sell to influence buyer behavior and create the results that you're looking for. Thanks for listening.